to educate girls. So you find that sometimes even when girls finish primary school, the issue of forced marriage and child marriage and early marriage actually comes to play, because now they're seen as mature people, as people who can be somebody's wife.
And so when we say when they finish primary school, we're talking about 11, 10 years old, is that right?
No, when they finish primary education in the Kenyan system, that's around 13, 14 years old.
13, 14. Okay, still young.
Yes.
The story here is what's good for girls is good for the climate. More education, more life prospects, and the choice to have fewer kids.
So it's an enormous impact, right? But obviously, there are problems with that particular model.
Go on, like what?
It's another form of racist eugenics in a way, or it can become another form of racist eugenics. These are essentially brown and black populations in the global north or anywhere, saying that, let's invest in girls' education because this is going to reduce the size of the population. Well, reduce the size of the population where? In brown and black countries, in poor and low-income countries. And this is obviously very ethically and morally problematic.
Yeah, right. And presumably also because these countries are often not the countries that have, damaged the planet in this
Absolutely.
way by pumping out all those greenhouse gases.
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
Yep. Plus, people in rich countries emit way more carbon than those in poorer ones. We're talking here about Kenya. The average person there is responsible for about a third of a ton of carbon emissions a year. Where I'm sitting here in Canada, the figure is over 15 tons.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
It is. Another way to think about it is what it takes a Kenyan a year to burn through, I will burn through in less than 9 days.
And you know what? It's people in the developing world that will feel the effects most. And within those countries, women are likely to be harder hit than men because they're more marginalized.
Women are actually disproportionately affected by climate change because women actually engage in a lot of farming and other activities that are directly linked to climate change. Where there's a challenge like drought, they're the ones who have to find a solution. They have to walk long distances to get water to irrigate their crops, to get water to drink, to get water to clean their house and even to cook. So they're really affected when it comes to climate change.
It's worth saying that the majority of working women in developing countries are farmers, so you can see how women may be more affected. And this can be made worse by finances. Women in half the world effectively aren't allowed to own their own home. And this can make it hard to borrow money, which makes it harder to survive all the stresses a warming planet can throw at them. The list goes on.
We have some studies that have shown that women face a higher mortality rate in the presence of weather-related disasters and climate-related disasters. Flooding in Bangladesh has led to increased rates of child marriage.
And what explains that?
So after a flood or after any sort of weather-related disaster, families are obviously just, catapulted into circumstances of uncertainty and...
Yeah, it's chaos.
Yeah, exactly. It's chaos. They're displaced. They're coping with grief, trauma. The world is in utter disarray for them, right? Their household resources are going to be so stretched thin. And if the next sort of thing in line to think about is, okay, well, we need to reduce, the number of mouths to feed or whatnot, then the next step is, okay, well, we can find a suitor for our daughter, or a dowry will be, a huge benefit in terms of helping us really alleviate that financial pressure. Unfortunately, the girl is going to be married off.
Right. And I'm sure the research shows that girls who've been married off aren't then suddenly put into like a fast-track high education stream.
No. Yeah. Research definitely shows that once girls are married off, they take on then the domestic roles of a wife, and then the expectations of motherhood are then pretty much immediately thereafter.